We also want to take you to Florida right now, where the man accused of what appears to be an assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump appeared in a federal courtroom today. The suspect is 58-year-old Ryan Wesley Routh. He's charged with federal gun crimes. Police say he pointed an AK-47 style rifle at Donald Trump while the former president golfed in West Palm Beach yesterday. In fact, we just got new body camera video just a moment ago showing the moment he was captured by deputies. Watch this.
Driver, take 2 steps to your right. Take 2 steps to your right. Driver, walk straight back. Keep walking.
Keep that long.
Deputies there made quick work of that arrest. Well, this morning, President Joe Biden reacted to that attempted attack, saying Congress needs to step in to give the Secret Service the help and the resources they need. Listen.
I think thank God the president's okay. I think we got a full report so far. We're down there tonight. But one thing I want to make clear, the service needs more help. And I think the Congress should respond to their needs if they, in fact, need more services.
CBS News national correspondent Manuel Bojorquez joins us live now from West Palm Beach. What are they saying about this guy? What do we know about his background, Manuel?
Well, it was in the federal courthouse behind me here in West Palm Beach where we learned a little bit more about him and also about the charges that he is facing right now. Those charges: possession of a firearm by a convicted felon and possession of a firearm with an obliterated serial numbers. They carry a maximum punishment combined of 20 years in prison. The judge asked him if he understood the charges. He said yes. He also said he understood that he had the right to remain silent. What we found very interesting inside the courtroom was his demeanor, and it matches what the sheriff of Martin County has been saying about him, and that you saw in the body cam video there, that he seems very calm and relaxed given the gravity of what he is accused of doing yesterday. In fact, in the courtroom, when he was seated next to the public defender, he was at times smiling and laughing. We couldn't hear their conversation, but definitely did not seem like somebody who was concerned about the kind of charges that he is facing. It was also interesting that at this preliminary point in this hearing, we did not hear anything about an attempted assassination or the former president's name being mentioned. This was a hearing that went just less than 10 minutes before saying that he will be back in court next week to see if he will be held for pretrial detention. In other words, whether he will receive bond or not.
Manuel Bojorquez is fresh from the courtroom where that all played out. We look forward to more reporting from you in the weeks ahead. Thank you so much for streaming with us today. All right, so when we come back, we're going to be talking to CBS News senior foreign correspondent Holly Williams a little bit later in this broadcast on reports that she did by way of an interview with Routh about his traveling to Ukraine in hopes of helping that country's fight with Russia. A lot of discovery. We are familiar with him because our organization has interviewed him before. Meanwhile, Donald Trump is set to meet with the acting director of the Secret Service today. And CBS News campaign reporter Olivia Rinaldi joins us live now. Olivia, any indication of what the former president or his camp have to say about the events of the weekend?
Well, Reed, we're starting to hear reaction from the former president in the last several hours. He spoke with Fox News, where he said that the suspect believed rhetoric of Biden and Harris, laying the essentially what could have happened to him yesterday at the feet of Biden and Harris, saying that they are increasing rhetoric against Trump himself, talking about him being a, quote, threat to democracy. And he's saying that the suspect perhaps believed it and acted on it. That is Trump talking to Fox News. Later in a Truth Social post, Trump said that because of the politics in our country have been taken to, quote, a new level of hatred, abuse, and distrust, he says, quote, the bullets are flying and it will only get worse. So rhetoric from the former president laying this at the feet of Biden and Harris, talking about their rhetoric. But Reed, it's really exemplary of where we are in American politics right now, of kind of these jabs going back and forth. Trump yesterday also said that his resolve is stronger, given that this is the second perhaps assassination attempt on his life that we've seen in the last several months. The FBI saying it appears to be an assassination attempt. But he's saying his resolve is strong and that he will continue on campaigning. He has several campaign events later this week in Michigan, New York, and then in North Carolina. So we're tracking all of these things very closely as what is perhaps the second assassination attempt unfolding is raising questions about the security around former President Donald Trump.
And we know the current president is now calling on Congress to give the Secret Service the resources they need. Olivia, thank you so much for that update.